Friends, we completed the discourse and the meditation session. At this time, we have a Q&A session. Any one of you who may have any spiritual inquiries, I would be happy to address that at this time. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming, and thank you for your beautiful words that were filled with love and devotion for Ishwapur.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
For all your love and devotion. And thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
I just wanted to say, Master Tarek, thank you very much for coming and gracing us with your presence. So it's a real pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. It is a big honor and a great joy for me to be here in Ladysmith, and I must thank our brother Russell and yourself for graciously organizing this beautiful event. Without your help, this would have never happened.
Do you have any tips and tricks how to withdraw your attention? I still really struggle with that because I feel like you're living in a field of projections and it's like a movie, and I want to go back to basically, to the origin where this is all being broadcast in a way. But I just have a hard time doing it.
Withdrawing the attention can be extremely difficult. It is not easy. First of all, let's analyze what is attention. Ishwarji has mentioned 3 important things related to the spiritual journey: consciousness, awareness, and attention. Consciousness is the totality of being, like the sun, the source of light. That is consciousness. Awareness is a function of consciousness, like the daylight. That is awareness. Attention is the focusing power of awareness, such as a sunbeam taking all the light, the daylight, and focusing it onto one point. That is attention. Why withdrawing of attention is so important in the spiritual path? You mentioned about projections. Right now, in this world, many of us are living like there is a projector and there is a screen of all the activities happening into our lives. We are living on the screens. It's projecting images, events, things that we are doing. we feel lost. Ishwarji mentioned that we should be instead focusing on the projector, not on the screen. In this case, then we become a silent witness. The projector will still be there, but it will not bother us anymore, because we are silently witnessing life. The best way, per Ishwar Puriji's teachings, to withdraw attention is, and this is specifically for you, if you could do that, I think that's going to help you a lot. Wake up at 2:30 in the morning and get ready for your meditation. Start your meditation at 3 a.m. Why 3 a.m.? This is when the mind is the least restless, is the least hyperactive. So I would recommend to start doing that if you have not started doing that already. Wake up. Of course, you have to go to bed quite early, if possible. But that is going to really help you withdrawing your attention. There is no secret in that. You have to wake up at 2:30, get your body, mind, emotions, feelings, and spirit ready for the meditation that starts sharply at 3 a.m. And it has to be gentle. You cannot force the mind. The more you force the mind, the more it's going to rebel against you. Start your meditation at 3 a.m. gently, withdrawing your attention to the third eye center, also known as Ajna, the third eye chakra, which is behind the eyes, between the ears. Withdraw your attention, not focusing. I don't want you to focus. Many of us, they don't feel there is a difference between focusing and withdrawing. It's quite different, actually. So we don't want you to focus your attention on the third eye center. Rather, you withdraw your attention, and it has to be effortless and gentle. Otherwise, the mind will rebel on you. If you start your meditation at 3 a.m. every day, I guarantee you, you're going to feel different. You're going to start experiencing, whoa, I am really withdrawing my attention to the third eye center, and a point that you may even experience dying while living. Literally, all your attention is withdrawn to the third eye center. You don't feel your physical body at all. And it is a similar experience when a person is experiencing physical death, whereby he does not feel anymore his extremities, then his torso, then his heart, then throat, then eventually goes here, and then the brain dies and the physical body dies. Similarly, dying while living happens when you are successful in withdrawing your attention to the third eye center, behind the eyes and between the ears. I would highly encourage you, sister, going forward, to start your meditation at 3 a.m. And for you, it's going to be very beneficial. And you are going to very soon feel benefits that you are truly withdrawing your attention to the third eye center, which is the seat of consciousness.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask another question?
Please.
So Ishwar would always say a PLM comes with a list to pick up his soul. So I wondered sometimes, how does the soul even end up on a list? Is that an arrangement before the soul takes birth?
Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what I said in the discourse. A perfect living master is not chosen by the disciple, but by the soul, even before birth. So yes, you are correct. It's an arrangement. A perfect living master has a list of certain marked souls. So therefore, if your soul is in this list, you are deemed to be spiritually initiated by that perfect living master. So yes, you are exactly correct. It is an arrangement, even before birth.
So how come that some souls end up on it, some don't? There must be a reason, or is that a secret?
So a perfect living master has a list of marked souls. Sister, you should realize not all the souls in this physical world are marked. It is impossible. It's a list can be limited. It could be 1 digit, single digit. It could be double digit. It could be 3 digit. It could be 4 digit. It could be fifth digit. But the point is, each and every perfect living master has a list of marked souls. So what happened, sister? Before you decided to embark into the greatest adventure of all humankind, before you decided to leave Sachkhand, you made an arrangement, you and Satpurush, or the ultimate creator, you made an arrangement that yes, I'd like to go and experience the lower worlds, but Satpurush, or ultimate creator, if I decide that I've had enough of experiencing misery, pain, suffering, sorrow, you're going to get me out of this mess. And the Satpurush, or the ultimate creator, tells you, yes, I promise you. And how do I come to you? Through a perfect living master. The ultimate creator cannot come by himself like this. It's very hard for us as human beings in physical bodies to meet the ultimate creator unless he disguises himself in a human form. So the perfect living master, who is the embodiment of the ultimate creator, he had your name on his mark, on his list, and you are a marked soul. Then at this time, at this location, you will get the spiritual initiation and you are deemed to return back home. He makes a personal guarantee to you that he will take you there no matter what. Whether you need to come back to Pinda or after physical death, you will continue to the higher planes of existence. This is an agreement that you make between you and your master. There is no go-between. There is no a third party there. It's something between you as a soul and your perfect living master. But again, this path is not for everyone. That's why the perfect living masters who come to this world are very less in numbers. Ishwarji said before he departed the physical world that he can count them on using the fingers of one hand. That's why we don't have too many perfect living masters in this world, because the seekers in this world, most of them are not truth seeker, ultimate truth seekers. They are seekers. They want some power, some psychic powers, siddhis, riddhis, etc. They want to develop clairvoyance or maybe some other psychic powers. But most of us are not interested into the ultimate truth. What is this, Sachkhand? We're not interested in that. So therefore, the perfect living masters only come in need of the disciples. If there are too many truth seekers, yes, there will be a big number of perfect living master. But Ishwar Puriji said very clearly that the number of Paramsan Sadgurus in this physical world, he can count them using the fingers of one hand only. So this path is not for everyone. So therefore we are very fortunate, and we should really be grateful and appreciative that a perfect living master of the highest order has picked us up. Why us? Well, we deserved it. There is no coincidence. Everything has been orchestrated by the divine. There are no coincidences. So the perfect living master comes into our lives not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm wondering if you would be able to walk us through an exercise of withdrawal. Because I've heard Ishwar talk about attention versus withdrawal many years, and I still can't, I can't visualize what that's like. So if there's an exercise, I'd like to do it.
Absolutely. Do you recall the orange juice experiment?
Yeah.
If everyone agrees, we can go ahead and do it at this time. This would be a very good exercise, the orange juice experiment.
But how is that withdrawal? That's an exercise of attention.
Yes. So it is focusing the attention.
Yeah.
But then there is a little trick at the end whereby we will go ahead and ask everyone to gently withdraw their attention to the third eye center.
Okay.
So one thing will lead to the other. And that's a very good question.
Okay.
So it's focusing the attention. First, it looks like it. Then later on, as the orange juice experiment unfolds, then we're going to go ahead and taste some kind of withdrawal of attention into the third eye center. And of course, not every one of us will do that, but I would say many of us may experiment that. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, great. 4, 5. Open your eyes. Did this exercise help? Awesome. The key is few things. Number one, it has to be effortless. No effort. Withdrawing the attention does not require any effort in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Second thing, if you feel you are struggling with withdrawing your attention into the third eye center, just imagine you are there. There is a spiritual discourse that I conducted in the past in Canada. It says imagination in meditation. I would recommend you to listen to it. It offers useful tips how to withdraw your attention and how to imagine you are at the third eye center. But again, imagination is good enough. Is very good. Why? Ishwarji mentioned to us that imagination comes from the astral world. So therefore it is important. So if we are struggling, am I on the third eye center? Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. Just imagine, not pretend. We're not saying to pretend. Pretend comes from the mind. That's the trick of the mind. No, imagine. Let's do an imagination test for you, since you did address this important issue. All right, look at me. Gently close your eyes. Okay. Now please imagine that I stood up and I walked and I stood behind you. Imagine that I am behind you at this time, here and now. Can you imagine that? Perfect. This is imagination. You may open your eyes. Thank you.
You had mentioned waking up at 3 a.m. and doing the exercises. Is there a special position, a special seating that we need to take, cross-legged, or just like we are here in a chair?
Sister, I was mentioning that specifically to that part. Sister, the 3 a.m. is not for everyone.
I understand.
But,
if I wanted to do that.
If you want to do that, you're most welcome to do so. Again, 3 a.m. is this is the time when the mind is the least restless, the least hyper agitated. So if you would like to try that, you're most welcome to do so. But remember, you have to wake up before 3 a.m. because, the body has certain needs. You have to go and, to the bathroom and get ready. 3 a.m. sharp, you start your meditation. To answer your question, no. There is no particular posture at all. This is all outer shows. You have to be comfortable. Comfortable enough so that you don't feel any ache in your body, but not extremely comfortable so that you can go back to sleep. The energy should be like in your body, but your attention should be withdrawn to the third eye center. If the attention goes to the heart chakra, you're going to sleep. And if it goes to the throat chakra, then you're going to start having dreams. So again, you have to be comfortable. The body has to be comfortable. No particular pose is recommended in this spiritual path, dear friends. There are no postures at all. These are all outer shows. And sometimes these outer shows, they may have adverse impact on our spiritual progress. Your physical body has to be comfortable. So if you are comfortable on this chair, go ahead, try your meditation at 3 a.m. sharp in this pose. If you prefer sitting on the floor, do that. But again, you have to be comfortable. Comfortable enough so you can do your meditation in its three components, but not extremely comfortable, like, for example, this way, and then suddenly you're like falling asleep. No. Does this answer your question?
And my second question is, how do I introduce love and devotion now to this? How?
Very good. Imagination. Again, let's do one exercise for you specifically, like I did to the sister here. I'm going to do one simple exercise for you. And that's going to help you with love and devotion. Look at me. Gently close your eyes. Imagine that your being is full of love and devotion for the Master, here and now. Do you feel it? Good. Good. You did feel a little bit though, right? Yes, very good. That's a good beginning. And by practice, perfect practice makes perfect. By practice, sister, you're going to develop more inner love for the Master. Okay? Thank you.
Hi, Tarek. Thanks again for coming. You had mentioned before, I think, in some of your other talks that you had, during COVID, you had the opportunity for 1 year to spend many days with Ishwarji. And I was wondering if you could share with us one or some of the key insights or things that really affected you most during that time.
Thank you. I had the rare opportunity to spend very high quality time with Ishwar Puriji one-on-one with him for many, many days during the coronavirus global pandemic. It was very simple. I mean, I felt myself. There was no strain, there was no stress, there was no tension. It's like heart to heart. We were like sitting on a small table. He was having his lunch. I was having mine. And we were not discussing too many spiritual topics. It was like rather mundane, you could say, most of the time. I mean, every once in a while but it was spontaneous. And I still remember one time he told me, Tarek, consider this life as a vacation. When you go onto vacation and you stay in a luxury resort, you don't take anything with you when you leave the... So he said, just enjoy. Try enjoy to the maximum. As much as your mind allows, enjoy this. Take it as a vacation. I said, okay, Petashi, what about if I do go on vacation, a real vacation in this life? He said, then you are in vacation within a vacation. It was very spontaneous. You know, he was very relaxed, extremely relaxed in his house, and nothing, you know, I was not bombarding him with too many questions, like every once in a while, but most of the time we were quiet. We were silent, exchanging, you know, giving me his darshan and drishti, you know, in a very loving way. But that was good enough for me. Doing the seva to cook for him was one of the greatest blessings the Master has ever bestowed upon me. And just being in his presence, enjoying every single second with him. We didn't have to talk much. We didn't have to do anything. Just there having lunch, and then he goes to his den. Ishwar Puriji had a beautiful den upstairs in his house. Toshiji specifically built this den for him so that he can have his privacy. He allowed very, very few people to go to the den. It was very special for him, and he liked to go there a lot, whereby he was answering inquiries from many of his followers and disciples. I remember one time he showed me he had over 9,000 unread emails. Over 9,000 unread emails. I don't remember the exact, but I remember it was 9 and then 3 other digits. So, yes. So he spent a lot of time in his den, and my time with him was only in the kitchen or the living room. Then when he goes to the den, you know, I don't follow him there. I respect his privacy, although he did allow me personally to go to the den every once in a while and meet with him there or do some work there for him. But so that's it. It's like I said in my talk, that the perfect living Master teaches us the essence of spiritual simplicity. 3 things. Just love the Master, trust the process, and go within. That's it. Thank you.
Hey, Tarek. I have a question. You know, when you do your Simran, and the more you do it, of course, it's always occurred to me, who's doing the Simran? What voice is doing the Simran? And it gets more intriguing the more you do it. The voice itself is what voice is that actually? And then I was thinking, you know, when you talk about the inner master doing your meditation within you, who's looking at the master, and what voice is that Simran I'm listening to? I'm not sure I'm making it quite clear, but I've often wondered about that. Who's watching the master, and whose voice is the Simran of the master coming from, let alone the voice that's you're doing yourself inside yourself in just regular meditation.
Thank you, brother. Ishwar Puriji has given us a secret while he was conducting a spiritual initiation to many of his disciples. He said to go ahead and imagine the voice, the physical voice of the master doing Simran, not your voice, not your physical voice. So when you are closing your eyes and you are withdrawing your attention to the third eye center, behind the eyes and between the ears, imagine the voice, the physical voice of the Master repeating the Simran with love and devotion. The Master actually can do the meditation on your behalf. How? By imagining that it's his voice. You remember his voice during spiritual initiation, and you go ahead and let the Master do the meditation on your behalf. So that answers the first part of your question. The second part of your question, who is looking at the Master? Your soul. Your soul is looking at the Master. It is your soul. Why? Because it is the memory of the soul. It is the soul, the memory of the soul of its true home calling you back. So your soul is looking at the Master. Your soul knows that this perfect living Master is going to take you to the sound current, which is the audible life stream, the true connection to the ultimate creator. Your soul is looking at the Master. And eventually you will experience the radiant form of the Master that happens in the astral world. And then there is the sound form of the Master, and that happens in the causal world. The radiant form of the Master, brother, stays with you all the way from Pinda, the physical world. Once you establish the radiant form, it will stay with you until Sachkhand. And then in Sachkhand, you are going to realize the ultimate truth, that your perfect living Master was no one but your higher self, your true self. Master, why didn't you tell me before? Why didn't you tell me that myself is you? You wouldn't have believed me, son. That's why I have not told you. But in Sachkhand, you will realize that the Master and the self are one. Sure.
Now you had to bring that up. So I have another question about that, because I've often thought about the hunts and the bunts and the story about the adventurous ones and the ones who were sedentary and didn't want to do anything and, just dance, play and whatever else. And I know this is allegorical. So let me say that out in front. But if the hunts that went out, were they truly adventurous, or was it something more like in a new creation? There was just automatically certain to fill it, sort of, and they were just sort of, I don't know why they were differentiated by it, and evidently a lot stay there and never come back. But I've often wondered. I've never thought. My mind works. I'm sort of sometimes wants to know things more on a scientific level than just on a. Well, they just happen to be a adventurous bunch that just wanted to go down there and experience things. And one other caveat to that question too, and I kind of brought it up on an email with you, and that is in Sachkhand, and we talk about all these different types of creations and grand dissolution and all of this stuff, but they're in a timeless state. So it almost seems like to me all of these different plays that are going on would almost all have to be done all at once. To us, it seems like there's time involved, but on the level of Sachkhand, it seems like all of these different creations and stuff that all be existing already before. That's what I don't see where they. Oh well, let's wait to see what the next one is. It seems like it also seems like the bun, because they haven't retracted their awareness, because we never release that one, retracted their awareness, they would know exactly what they're missing, because they never retracted their awareness. So if one person or something experiences all of it, in a sense, is what it's been right for me in that way. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but that's it.
Thank you, brother. To comment on what you said, Ishwar Puriji has given this example of a king having a beautiful kingdom in a huge palace, and then a son was born, and the son always lived in the palace, and he got use of all the luxury style of life, having many servants helping him out with everything. Then one day, this son of the king, the prince, decided to leave the palace. He wanted to explore life outside this palace, outside the kingdom of his dad. And then he went outside, and he was shocked to see people experiencing misery, pain, suffering, sorrow, poverty. He was shocked. He did not realize, he did not appreciate his lifestyle in the palace until he left the palace to experience the other world. Similarly, brother, the Hans, per Ishwar Puriji, and these are the more adventurous souls, they decided to embark into the greatest ever, the greatest adventure of human existence, leaving Sachkhand to experience the lower worlds, especially the physical world. So this soul left Sachkhand, totality of consciousness, to experience the lower regions of existence. And there, the soul was imprisoned by the misery of the mind and senses. And then comes the perfect living master to spiritually initiate this soul, to take it back to Sachkhand. And when this soul returns back to Sachkhand, they're going to appreciate Sachkhand much more than the Bans. The Bans have always been there. Like you said, they have retracted their consciousness. They kept it there in Sachkhand. Yes, they are happy. They are dancing and singing 24/7. And here I'm using a metaphor. But the Hans, when they return back to Sachkhand, they're going to have more gratitude and appreciation than the Bans, because they have left the kingdom and they have experienced other parts of life which may not necessarily be beautiful, like in Sachkhand. Similarly, the prince, when he left the palace of his dad, he was shocked to see people in misery, in suffering, in pain, in sorrow, in need, sick, poor. What was this about? He never experienced that in the palace. So then, when the prince returns back to the palace and be reunited with his father, then he's going to say, Father, I'm now appreciating the palace much more than before, because I have experienced the other life in the lower worlds. Does this make sense, brother?
Still, I don't want. I think it would be. This is a conversation that is too complicated. I mean, in a sense of. But isn't that Siddhartha? But isn't that story that it actually originally came from Siddhartha?
Little bit different,
Except
brother.
for the end of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yes, you're talking about Siddhartha Buddha, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Another question. Speaking, I was talking to Russell, and you don't mind Russell, but okay. So I was talking to Russell, and we were comparing different types of Indian literature. And I have a question, because in the third age, what's it called?
The Iron Age, Kali Yuga.
No, the third, the one that was before this one.
Okay.
Starts, I can't remember the name of it, but that Bronze Age.
Okay.
And, you know, it's curious. I'm curious about this, is that if you look at it in the Mahabharata, it ends right where the Old Testament starts up. And if you look at the ages and stuff, the people in the Mahabharata are just about the ages of the first people in the Old Testament. And there's a lot of similarities almost. It's almost like where it's like an echo of a technology that was lost, but there's still resonance with the people that in the very beginning of the Old Testament. I was wondering if you have anything to say about that.
Not really, brother. I mean, I did not read the entire Mahabharata. I did read the Bhagavad Gita, which is considered probably the true essence of Mahabharata. And then the Old Testament, I never had the opportunity to read it thoroughly. I did read excerpts from it.
Well, just like you know how there's technology in them that only a few know how to work, and the knowledge has been lost.
Okay.
And so it was just, I was just curious, because and then you have simulation. Or you have, like, in the first part, especially in Genesis and stuff, you have giants and were of that time, and there seems to be technology and stuff that existed at its very tail end. People were living about the same age as they are at the end of the Mahabharata. So and they both started. One ends and one begins at around that same time.
Interesting. All I can tell you, brother, is that there are no coincidences in life at all. An impulse anywhere is an impulse everywhere.
All right. Well, I guess I'm done now.
Thank you.
Beloved Guruji, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the nature of this existence, in the sense that, is this a dream? I mean, I actually, when I read the teachings of the great master and the Radhiswami materials, well, first of all, I came to the conclusion a long time ago that whatever created this realm here, I have a hard time being in love with that, because there's so much suffering, there's so much misery, like in Siddhartha's story. It's hard to believe that a loving God would create such a world. And then I read the great master, the material from the Radhiswamis, where it says, no, God is the ruler of this plate. These three lower worlds is the cow. And I went, that gets God off the hook, you know. So thank you. I can love God now. And then I turned the page and it says that God sanctioned cow. And I'm like, oh no, now it's God's fault again, you know. So, but when I heard beloved Ishwar say, you're living in a dream, that hit home, because then that not only gets God off the hook, it does away with sin, it does away with guilt. And I was just wondering, is that just different levels of understanding this creation versus the dream part of it?
So thank you, brother. That's a very good question. Yes, we are all living in a dream. It is a dream. And when we go at night, when we go to bed and sleep and have a dream, we're having a dream within a dream. So only when the soul gets merged with its beloved in such kind, you are going to wake up from this dream. This is a dream. It is a big dream. And I just want to comment about what you said. You're correct. There are two entities. One is a positive entity represented by Dayal, and that is Sat Purush, or the ultimate creator. And then there is the negative entity, and that is Kal. And Kal is known to be the god of time and death. Now, Dayal, or Sat Purush, has given Kal certain authorities to undertake. One of them is to administer karma, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Kal also administers the endless cycles of birth and death. Kal also administers the soul, whether it needs to go to heaven and or to hell in the astral plane. So Kal has certain responsibilities, but they were all assigned by Dayal, or by Sat Purush, also known as the ultimate creator. So there is an agreement, not necessarily overt, it could be a covert agreement between Dayal and Kal, that Kal, you take care of that, but once the perfect living master initiates a human soul, Kal, you cannot harm this soul. You can scare this person, you can have fear, doubt over that person, but you cannot be malicious. You cannot harm this soul. Why? Because this soul has been spiritually initiated by a perfect living master who is the embodiment of the ultimate creator. So there is some agreement. And of course, Kal does not like the fact if a soul goes above his realm. He tries to keep all the souls under his command and control. But if a soul gets spiritually initiated by a PLM, Kal cannot do anything. He stands by. He backs off. I mean, he doesn't interfere with the soul per Dayal's instructions to him. So it's all a play and a display of creation, brother. But you are correct. We are all now living in a dream. It is a big dream. And how can we wake up from this dream? Only when the soul gets totally and completely merged with the ultimate creator. When the drop of water realizes that it has dissolved into the boundless ocean of love, this is when we realize that this was all a dream. Now, many masters say that we are already in Sachkhand, yes, but we have lost the memory. And that's why I mentioned in today's discourse that this inner thirst, this longing of the truth is not accidental. It is the soul's memory of its true home calling it back. So therefore the soul has a memory of its true home. And the soul wants love. The soul wants to be merged with the beloved. The soul does not care about anything else. All the soul wants is to be merged with the boundless ocean of love that is the ultimate creator. And this is, we realize that this life was nothing but a dream, a big dream. And it's a layer after a layer. You have the physical, then you have the astral, then you have the causal, then you have pure consciousness, and then finally you have totality of consciousness. So you have 5 different layers representing the 5 different levels of consciousness. In this regard, I made on January 1st, 2025, a brief video on the 5 levels of consciousness. Basically, physical, astral, causal, pure consciousness, and totality of consciousness. So each one, brother, is considered a layer. So if we get rid of physical, we go to astral. If we don't have a perfect living master, we'll say, oh, this must be the ultimate reality. The perfect living master will tell us, no, you have not seen yet. Let's keep walking. Really? You mean there is something more into that? The mind cannot fathom the perfect living master. It is impossible for the human mind to fathom and completely understand the perfect living master. But the perfect living master is so important to guide us through our spiritual journey, because each level, each plane of existence is better than the previous one. When we reach the astral, we say, this is it. This must be the ultimate reality. When we reach causal, oh master, that must be Sachkhand. No, not yet, not quite. When we reach Trikuti, oh my goodness, this must be like 3 mountains of light. That must be Sachkhand. No, not quite. When we go to pure consciousness, Parbrahm regions, and we go to Daswan Dwar, Mahasun and Bhanwar Gufa, we think Bhanwar Gufa that we made it. Not quite yet, until we go to totality of consciousness. And many perfect living masters got stuck into Bhanwar Gufa, the revolving cave. Now, they are considered perfect living master, but they are Sadguru, not Sadguru. And that's a different topic. But in a nutshell, it is a dream. You are absolutely correct.
And so the 5 levels of consciousness are the dream within the dream within the dream. Like the movie Inception, the master Ishwarji talked about this movie.
Exactly.
And so all of these yugas and all these dispensations and the old history of the different religions and stuff, all that's within the physical consciousness and the physical level.
Yes, you are exactly correct. The yugas, there are 4 yugas according to the Vedic philosophy. There is Kali Yuga, the Iron Age. There is Sat Yuga, which is the Golden Age. There is Treta Yuga, and then there is Dwapara Yuga, Bronze Age, and some other age. Yeah, but you're correct. All these yugas or periods of time are all within the first one, the physical consciousness. That is exactly correct.
So the process of Surat Shab Yoga is transcending these levels of consciousness within ourselves till we reach back a memory of our true home.
You are exactly correct, brother.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Okay. Well, one comment. When we're on vacation, that's when we feel Ishwar the most. It just seems that maybe we're feeling his guidance most when we're not at home and doing regular stuff. But I just said, it's something that we noticed. But what I've also been noticing in myself is I feel like we're moving into a different period of our lives, me and Bill, kind of moving into the evening of our lives. And I do Simran when I'm cooking. I do Simran when I'm walking. I do Simran when I'm cleaning. And when I sit down to meditate, I don't want to do Simran. It's like it's disappeared. I say the first word, and then I realize 5 minutes later, having a lecture with a family member or I just go off into a dream. It's like I spend my life with being guided by Ishwar. I just feel him, or whatever guidance I'm receiving, I feel very close to it. Then I sit down to meditate, and I just don't want to. And I know that part of myself, we've been doing this for 50 years now, and part of myself just feels real depressed about it. I just feel like it's a futile cause, because I spend so much time thinking of the master and feeling him. And then I sit down and I
I know the Simran. I mean, it runs throughout my mind when I'm cooking all the time, hiking every time, except meditation.
This is a beautiful experience, sister. You are blessed. The fact that you are repeating your Simran while cooking and doing your chores and your activities of daily living, that is good enough. This is meditation. Meditation, Ishwar Puriji mentioned, it's not only 2.5 hours. A meditation is remembering the Master with love and devotion. Sister, if you are remembering Ishwar Puriji with love and devotion, that is good enough. So for you, this is a beautiful experience. And keep doing what you are doing. You are doing the right thing in the right place at exactly the right time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You are repeating Simran with love and devotion. Do you feel Ishwar Puriji's love?
Yeah, almost every.
Wow. Now this is a blessing. This is a true blessing, sister. So that's why when you try to sit for meditation, your mind doesn't want that, because you are absorbed, you are intoxicated by the Master's love and grace. So what else do you want? Continue what you're doing. This is beautiful. And if I may add, just before you go to bed, if you want to sit on bed, do 5 minutes of meditation, and then when you go to bed, Ishwarji has said all these 7 hours of sleep count as if you did 7 hours of meditation.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
So just change my viewpoint.
Absolutely.
And stop beating myself up about
No,
it.
this is great.
Yeah.
What you're doing is perfect. Keep doing that.
Okay. Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My biggest fear is after reaching Sachkhand, deciding to come back for another adventure. And I know, Ishwarji and yourself have answered this question many times, but you guys have said, only if you want to come back, you can come back. You don't have to come back. But I'm afraid that I'm going to reach Sachkhand and then decide to come back. And I'm wondering, do souls typically come back? Say, for example, their master initiated them. The master says, okay, I'm coming back for more souls. Do you want to come back with me?
It is up to your soul. There is no general rule in that. Ishwarji has explained to me one-on-one. The soul decides. Once the soul reaches Sachkhand, if the soul wants to remain in Sachkhand, it does not have to return back. Now, the perfect living master may return back to the lower worlds to awaken certain marked souls so that they merge into the ultimate creator. But you don't have to come back. You make the decision, not the master. You've already merged with the ultimate creator. So there is no separation. You became the ultimate creator. The drop of water has merged into the boundless ocean of love. So there is no more you as a personal identity. No. But it is up to your soul. If you want to return back, you can, you may. The master will never force you. He may ask you gently. He may not ask you. It depends on each soul. Some souls are fed up. They say, that's it. No more, master. No more, master. We just want to stay in Sachkhand along with the buns, singing and dancing 24/7. No more adventures for us. Some souls decide to embark on another adventure when the master decides to come back again to the 3 lower worlds. But it's a little bit too early for you to think about that. Right now, the focus should be reach Sachkhand first and then take it from there. Okay?
That makes sense. I'm just kind of, fed up.
Okay. So again, you do not have to return back in any way, shape, fashion, or form. You make the decision.
Right.
You make the decision.
No, I'm just trying to understand the play of the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all picked up a DVD to come here for an adventure in the first place.
Yes.
We're all miserable. We want to get out of here.
Yes.
And then we reach Sachkhand. There's no time and space there. And then instantly we're back again. I don't want, it just seems a little bit too much. I don't want to be separated from my beloved. When I
Sure.
merge, I want to just be there.
Okay. So for you, most likely, once you reach Sachkhand, whenever, you'll probably never return back to Pinda or the three lower worlds. Whether there will be Perle, Mahaperle, grand dissolutions and grand dissolutions, if you say that's it, no more, then you'll stay there.
Okay.
But at one point, you may feel bored.
That's what I'm saying.
You may say, oh boy, what is that? Singing and dancing 24/7? Boring. And then you say, okay, master, I'm ready to pick up another DVD and come back to the lower three worlds. I mean, I cannot tell. You make the decision. It's your decision. No one else, sister. It's your decision. The master will never tell you, come with me.
No, but if my beloved has decided to embark on another adventure and out of love I say, okay, I want to go with him, then I'm stuck in this whole thing again.
Exactly. Then you have to pick up a DVD from the Akashic records, because remember, to come to the three lower worlds, you have to have a DVD. And the DVD will have ups and downs. There will be happiness, there will be sorrow. There will be good times, there will be bad times. Because this is the nature of the physical world, sister. Zindagi kabhi kushi kabhi gam. Life is sometimes happy moments and sometimes sorrow moments. This is the nature of the physical world. And then you may be separated from your beloved. Say, for example, you were at the same time together, but then he departed the physical world and you're still there. And then you say, okay, I'm going to be born again. You may get separated from him. It all depends on the DVD, what is there.
And I understand that if it's one lifetime, it's manageable. Okay, one lifetime and then back to Sachkhand. But typically with a DVD, I mean, you can have thousands of
Yes.
of years.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if you're in, that's if you pick up, like if you start as a human. And if you start as an insect or a bacteria.
then it's going to take much longer.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes we start as an insect or as an animal or even worse, as a plant. And then it takes tens of thousands of years for us to get a human physical form. And then this human physical form is yearning and longing for his or her beloved. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's too much. I mean, you know how when you're suffering, time feels longer. And then when you're having an amazing time, it's like, and then if you're in Sachkhand, there's no time. So it feels like, just correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like, okay, well, when we merge with Satpurush, we go to Sachkhand, it's like instantaneously we're drawn back into creation. So then where is the real, like, how much time do you really get, or how much expansion of experience do you really get being merged with your beloved versus being separated from him?
Exactly. Again, you as a soul will make the decision whether you're going to return back to the three lower worlds or just stay in Sachkhand. You will make that decision. No one else. When you embarked into this greatest adventure of a human existence, you made an informed decision. You made an informed decision. Nobody else. The perfect living master, well, Satpurush, because there was no perfect living master in Sachkhand, Satpurush told you, look, I'm coming down, and I promise you, at one day when you are sick and tired of the pain, suffering, misery, and sorrow of the physical world, I will come back as a perfect living master in a human physical form, and I will spiritually initiate you and bring you back to Sachkhand. He promised you that, so then you said, okay, I'll come. But now, if you return back to Sachkhand and you say, Master, no more, please, or Satpurush, no more, you're already merged with Satpurush, so therefore you're going to make an informed decision.
Well, you say I'm going to make an informed decision, but then you also say that's when you've merged with Satpurush, so he's technically making the decision.
It's a little bit complicated. So, yes and no. So, you are merged with Satpurush, so you and Satpurush are one. Yourself and the perfect living master are one. And when you are merged with Satpurush in Sachkhand, that's it. There is no more personal identity for you. But this soul retains some memory, little residue of memory. So therefore, if Satpurush decides that a perfect living master is about to go down to the 3 lower worlds and pick up a DVD from the Akashic records in Trikuti, then nobody is going to force you. So trust the master. Okay, trust the master. Master will take good care of you. If you don't want to return back, you don't have to.
Okay, thank you. I just don't trust myself.
But, okay, right now you don't trust yourself. But guess what? Once you reach Sachkhand, you're going to realize that yourself is the master. Yourself is the perfect living master. So then you're going to trust yourself. Therefore, you are trusting the perfect living master. There is no difference between your true self and the perfect living master and the ultimate creator. They're all one. Your higher self is equivalent to your perfect living master, is equivalent to the ultimate creator. It's all one. Okay?
Okay.
Just love the master, trust the process, and go within.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.